Good morning, everybody. Hope you've had a fantastic weekend. We certainly have. We just rejoice at what we see God doing. We thank God that Mike is looking a lot better today. So pleased to report that. Continue to pray for him, okay? But we're in the most amazing chapter of this entire book. Mark chapter 16. The whole book is filled with some incredible things, but we begin to bring it towards its victorious and its great and its wonderful ending. Jesus has lived, he's taught, he's raised up disciples, he's mentored them, he's served them, he's cared for them, he's loved the people completely and absolutely sacrificially, and everything he has done just remarkably beautifully is the only word I can think of. And then we see Jesus being tried unjustly, being put before Pilate, beaten up by the Roman soldiers, crucified, hanging dead upon a cross. Joseph of Arimathea last week was the guy who came with great boldness as he witnessed the death of Christ, took Jesus down from the body, and he laid him in the tomb. Two of the ladies who were beside the tomb and beside the cross saw where they had laid him. I want to pick up the story from them. When the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices so that they might go to anoint Jesus' body. Very early on the first day of the week, just after sunrise, they were on their way to the tomb. And they asked each other, "Who will roll the stone away from the entrance of the tomb?" You see, they had seen them lay Jesus in the tomb. They'd seen them put Roman soldiers beside the stone that had been rolled in front of the entrance of the tomb. And in their minds, they're thinking through a human lens. They're thinking through a physical human lens. And who can blame them for that? But when they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had been rolled away. They don't say anything about the soldiers that had been put there to guard the tomb. You can read about that account in the other Gospels. But the stone had been rolled away. Not so that Jesus could get out, you know that, but so that we could see in. And we could see the wonder of the prophetic fulfillment that Jesus had said, that in 3 days I will rise again from the dead. Everything was exactly as Jesus had said, down to the last detail. But the question is, this rolling of stone away. Do you remember back at the story of Lazarus? There was another stone in front of another tomb. And in there lay a dead man, a very dead man, dead for 4 days, in fact. And Jesus arrived there and he said to the people, "Roll the stone away." And because they obeyed, they saw Lazarus come out alive, the great miracle of the resurrection of this man. But the intriguing thing is that at this particular resurrection of another great man, God himself rolled the stone away. Now I want to just take this and apply it devotionally into your life, where the scriptures and your life kind of meet, and you're able to say, well, how does that pertain to me in my everyday life? Sure, historically, we know that Jesus was raised from the dead, as too was Lazarus. But let me tell you, there's two types of stones in your lives. The one stone is the one that you have to roll away. That's the one that is an act of faith, and even though you don't understand it, and even though you can't comprehend it, and even though you don't even think that it's going to work, Jesus says, you roll the stone away. And he said this, if you do this, you will see a mysterious, miraculous miracle take place. But you have to do the rolling of the stone. I wonder, in your lives, if there are stones that block you from moving ahead. There are stones that block you from getting out of that which has held you captive for so long. And you just need to get rid of the stone, and you can pray people till you are blue in the face. The stone is going to remain. You know why? Because the instruction is to you to remove the stone. Sometimes you do that, as in the story, on behalf of a friend, as those friends did. They moved the stone for him. That's why I love the church. The church, when you hang in there and when you serve, you will find people around you who are going to help you to roll your stones away. But sometimes, even from within the cave, you may have to help. you may have to roll that stone away. I wonder what that stone is for you. Maybe it's the stone of unbelief. Maybe it's the stone of fear. Maybe it's the stone of lack of faith. I don't know what it could be, but I do know that until you roll that stone away, you're going to stay in that cave for a very long time. Don't you see it? Many people today who say they're believers, and yet they're behind the stone. They're in the cave of disbelief. They're in the cave of fearful belief. So today, maybe you need to take a look at the stones that are rolled in front of your cave and say, how do I get these done? Maybe you need some friends to help you with that. But by faith, God says, you roll the stone away. I'm sure you'll find some relevance as you find the situations that you can apply this truth to. But in this story, God rolled the stone away. You see, there's some stones you have to roll away, and there's some stones only God can do it. Only God can supernaturally roll the stone away and demonstrate the immensity of his power. This is at the point of your life where there is no other way out, where there is just all you need is some kind of supernatural stuff to take place. And yeah, the opposite is true. Maybe you trying to roll a stone away that should be rolled away by God himself. And so you throw yourself at the feet of a God who is sovereign, a God who loves you dearly. And when the impossible faces you and you've done the best you can, all you can do is pray, God, this is your stone. This is your stone. Can you please roll this stone away? And let's see what God does. Maybe it's in the health realm. I don't know. Maybe it's in the realm of finance or relationship or your marriage or something, and you say, I've done everything that I possibly can, but God, I'm being blocked at every path by a stone. God, won't you do this for me? Won't you roll my stone away? Now, as the context of Jesus and the resurrection, everything I've said to you is very small. Because when Jesus came out of that rocky place, when he came out of that tomb, the victory was really secure. Satan was done. This was the last nail in his coffin. And Satan saw Jesus come out and knew that not just because of the blood of Jesus, but because of the resurrection of Christ, his work is null and void. I love this. This gives power to the Christian story. Nobody else has ever pulled that off. You think anybody has? But if somebody walks out of the grave, I promise you people, that will get my attention. I hope it gets yours. You have a fantastic day, and we'll be with you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.